Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. As you probably know, there were some explosions in Crimea in a Russian military airfield, and there were at least 10 explosions. The Ukrainians at first said, we will not comment on this one. The Russians said, we don't know what's going on yet. Well, as time passed, there are some people who claim responsibility, other people will come with stories, and other people who still keep their mouths shut. So some people claim, some people say, no, it wasn't us, the same people, and then we got the other ones say, oh no, it was just an accident. Now, whatever it was, something happened over there. There were some explosions, but I got an article here that it's from August 9, 2022, and I know it's from Daily Beast, but it says this: Ukraine claims responsibility for massive blasts at Russian base in Crimea despite Kremlin's story. I looked at the time, and this is at 12:03 p.m. I have another article here, which it's coming from 11:52 a.m., so earlier today, and it says Russian Defense Ministry comments on the explosions in Crimea. Now, no deliberate strike. And we got another article here. It says from 11:55, so still before the Daily Beast article. Ukrainian Ministry of Defense distances itself from explosions at Crimea's airfield. Now I read about this and I found out that the only thing that the Daily Beast has on top of everybody else is not only that is some minutes after the event than the other two articles, but it's someone said something to New York Times, I think. So let's see what's going on here. Questions have been raised about the Kremlin's versions of events after several massive explosions were seen erupting from a Russian military airbase in Crimea on Tuesday. Videos of the blast at the Saki base on the Russian-controlled peninsula were shared on social media. In a statement, this is the first version, the Russian Defense Ministry said the explosions had been caused as a result of aviation munitions detonating, though no explanation was given as to what had caused the ordnance to explode. 10, boom, 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 one after another. They also claimed that there were no casualties as a result of the explosions, nor was there any damage to aviation hardware at the site. I read another article saying there's a person who died over there. One, as of now, they said. A civilian. What? That doesn't make sense. And I'm quoting, measures are being taken to extinguish the fire and find out the causes of the explosion, end quote. The ministry added. Russian state media reported, according to the report from the site, there was no fire impact on the bounded ammunition storage area at the airfield. Despite the Kremlin's denials, a contradictory narrative quickly emerged. An unnamed Ukrainian military official, who told the New York Times that Ukrainian forces were indeed behind the blasts, and I'm quoting, "This was an air base from which planes regularly took off for attacks against our forces in the southern theater," end quote, the source said, adding that, and I'm quoting again, "device exclusively of Ukrainian manufacture was used in the attack." Well, this is what he said. Don't you like when people contradict one another and there's no way for you to figure out who's telling the truth here? The only thing you know is there are explosions over there, and it's a war, and it's ammunition. So all these things can play a part. The diverging stories over the cause of the airbase explosions join a growing list of disputed events in Ukraine in recent weeks. Both Kiev and the Kremlin blamed each other as being responsible for internationally condemned explosions at Europe's largest nuclear power plant, Zaporozhye, at the weekend, and both belligerents pointed the fingers at one another for an apparent airstrike on a prison in Olenivka, which left dozens of Ukrainian prisoners of war dead. Well, I don't know. It says here, independent analysts looking at footage of Tuesday's blast in Crimea have also raised questions about the Kremlin's latest story. Open source intelligence analyst Oliver Alexander was particularly curious about two explosions appearing to erupt at almost the same time, despite being some distance apart. And I'm quoting, they're almost simultaneous, those two explosions, so I don't really think that would be an accident, end quote, Alexander told the Daily Beast. It would be very unlikely unless they happened to happen at exactly the same time. I think that's right. I think that makes a point, but is it true? Alexander therefore thinks the blasts are likely to have been a Ukrainian attack. And I'm quoting, I can't really think what else it could be, he said. If it was just one explosion, sure, it could be an accident, stuff happens. I can't really say anything for certain until I see satellite imagery tomorrow where you can see exactly what was hit, but it does not seem like both of the munition storage sites were hit almost simultaneously, which seems strange for it to being an accident. I think that makes sense. And in the first article that I read, and I posted a video on, I made a video on that, they said there were at least 10 explosions. So it's not like one, but you say, okay, it was one next to another. But we'll find out. It didn't say how apart from one another was. The Russian Defense Ministry's line that there were no casualties may also turn out to be untrue. Alexander speculates, given the alarming proximity of the explosions to civilian housing, I'm not exactly sure who lives there. It could also be houses for soldiers and stuff, but they still have families, he says. I don't know what the situation is. Well, I read an article saying that one casualty, one civilian. So, what is it? Which one is it? I think we need some time, but it's quite a coincidence that Ukrainians hit those, remember those offices, military offices of the Russian Navy before they had the parade. They had to cancel the parade in Crimea and Sevastopol, and it was a drone, and they say, well, it was not us, it was us, and so on. Now, obviously, counter-information, misinformation, disinformation, and propaganda all play a part in this one, because they all have to gain and all have to lose. Now, of course, Ukraine lets the things, and psychologically in a war, would leave it, yeah, it was us, no, it wasn't us, yes, it was us, no, it wasn't. So people who is going to be questioning, well, that happened, was it us? No, they say it wasn't, this guy say it was. So then the thing is, always unknown creates more problem than known stuff. So, and you know, terrifies people. And not only the thing here is, what if it was the Ukrainians? Will the Russians do what they said they will do when former president and prime minister of Russia Medvedev said that if the Ukrainians are going to hit Crimea, it's going to be the end of them and they can't hide anywhere. All right, well, let's see. One was the Crimea, the bombing of those offices. Okay, let that pass. All right, now this one. How long do you wait? You wait for the Kerch bridge to be destroyed? Then what? Only then you're going to move in? And these guys are probably just, you know, little steps, get you used to. We're going to try first a little drone. Now we're going to hit this target, and the next one is going to be what? Sevastopol or the bridge? We're going to find out, but I don't think it was too coincidental. But I would say coincidental with what? With the fight in southern Ukraine, where the counteroffensive is, and where the Ukrainians said, well, we might hit, we might hit Crimea. Some Americans said, yeah, it's okay for you to hit Crimea. Why not? And well, we'll find out. As of now, the unnamed military official Ukrainian told New York Times. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.